Howdy, friends and floor heads. Welcome to Sunday Night Delta Green. It's been 7 years since episode one, but I know some of you haven't been watching live. So for some of you, this is back to back if you're binging. But we were just talking before we came live about, oh, gosh, scheduling bugs got us, and we had a hell of a time getting here. But we are here. If you haven't noticed, I don't have handler in my name because I get to play, and I'm super excited. So Nick, John, Kyle, welcome, and I'm going to hand this over to Brian.
All right. Well, welcome back, everybody. It has been a little bit too long, so just as a little aid to memory here, our four Delta Green agents were having a perfectly normal Tuesday until they all started screaming for no apparent reason, but they got over that. Everything is fine. And then they were brought in by Delta Green to investigate something called the Olympian Holobeam Array, which is a high tech physics research lab of some kind. They drove out there, started doing some investigation. Everything seemed normal. They have a very sophisticated computer system that's been doing some interesting analyses on the fundamental nature of the universe, which a lot of people have spent a lot of time explaining in ways that don't really make a whole lot of sense. But there didn't seem to be the kind of thing here going on that would attract Delta Green's attention. And just as the crew was considering calling back to headquarters and reporting nothing found, one of them, Agent Porter, well, everybody had sort of a weird sort of mental uh, lapse for a moment. It felt like there was some kind of pressure coming in from outside. And Agent Porter had what felt like a very accurate memory of coming to this facility before when everything was in an uproar and then something huge and black and impossible erupted out of it and consumed everything. So that's where we're picking up. We've got, let's see, agents Porter and Beaumont are just outside the back of the main facility building. Agents Hua and Garnet are inside talking to Evan Kozak, who's one of the engineers on the project. And yeah, all of you had a little bit of a, you know, sort of fit, I wanna say, just a moment when everything felt a little bit weird and you kinda lost time, but you're all back to yourselves now.
And Agent Porter's been trying to get my attention and has been telling me, that whatever it is sees us, which I'm trying to call our handler because I'm trying to bluff her a little bit, trying to get
Mhm.
her to just tell her, "Hey, we're leaving, everything's good," because I'm very suspicious about what she has not only what she's told us, but what she hasn't told us. So I'm hoping that this little ploy might get some more information out of her.
Okay. So you, sort of unlock your phone to make that call. You see that there is a text there from Ashley. Just says, "You okay? Nothing on the news yet. Text me when you can. Be safe. XOX."
Well, remember, I've got Agent Porter's burner phone.
Oh, that's the right. That's the phone you. Well, all right.
Yep,
So you feel a buzz on your hip. You get that
got
text
it.
message.
Yep.
But yeah, you make the burner. You pick up the burner phone and you call Agent Carpenter. Um, there is about a ring and a half, and then you just hear a voice say yes,
Miss Carpenter.
yes.
Hey, it's Beaumont. Just want to let you know that we did some poking around here for about a couple hours now. We talked to a bunch of people, and I got to tell you, I don't think a whole lot's going on here. They got a fancy computer system going. They got lasers shooting at lasers, and Agent Porter. He's been all up one side of it, down the other, and other than these people think about. Bigger ideas than I've ever had. I think we're gonna pack it all up. Just wanted to check in with you before we did that.
Do not do that, she says. And there's kind of a pause, and you hear that sort of sound of a hand kind of being put over the mouthpiece for a second. Which I just realized I put my hand over my microphone. So hopefully you heard that, but you
You
got the
did.
idea. Um, and then she's like, I want you to stay there for the remainder of the evening. At least until the staff there heads out. We want to know we have strong reason to believe there is something going on there, so keep digging.
Well, and I appreciate that, Miss Carter. Agent Carter, I really do. I got to tell you, we've been pretty thorough here, and unless you got some more information that we can work from, just hanging around and smoking cigarettes till everybody leaves, I don't know. I have a hard time with that.
So you've checked out every part of the facility?
Upside one, down the other. Yeah, I mean, I got to be honest. The bathrooms are kind of dirty, but other than that, it's in pretty good shape.
Um, why don't you go ahead and give me, what would we call that? Maybe a persuade roll.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. All right, let's find my persuade. All right. No modifier.
Nope. Huh, that's pretty good. All right, so there's there's
That's
sort
not
of
bad.
yeah.
3%.
Yeah, no,
I
I'll take
believe him.
it.
That
Yeah,
was the
so
bathroom
there
detail that
is
won it over.
a long pause, and then she says, "The reason we sent the four of you there is because of reports we got from the four of you."
This is my first time calling, Agent.
I'm aware of that, but I don't know what to tell you, but something here is fucked up, and we
All
need you
right.
to figure out what it is. Because we got contact from the four of you this morning.
All right. We were meeting with you this morning, if my memory serves.
Yes, and the reason we called you is because you had I don't understand it either. Craig, why don't you go ahead and make me a sanity roll while we're at it?
Yeah, I probably am having a hard time with this one. All right.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna tell you how you feel about it.
Sure.
But she sounds like she absolutely believes what she is telling you. So that's gonna be 2 sanity loss for you.
Got it.
Um, and you can hear in her voice that it scares the shit out of her.
All right. Hey, you know what? Agent, that's fine. Well, you can explain it to us all later. We'll stay around till tonight. Should we well listen, if you think of anything, you give us a call on this phone, all right?
I will. Good luck.
All right. So shut it down. Porter, you still here outside with me?
Uh, yeah, yeah. What's up?
So as soon as I go, now look, you said you seen something because she
Yeah.
says we called her this morning before they called us and that we called from here about this.
That's
And then you said you saw us here?
yeah, yeah. It was dark. It was really late. Uh,
So maybe been last night, early this morning then. All
yeah. There
right.
was a big dark. There was gunshots and all when we got here, and then
Brian,
just everything went wrong.
when Porter says that, I'm gonna like look around like at the walls and just see if there's any bullet holes or like just kind of walk around like the corner of the building, just see if there's any sign that shots were fired.
No, this place looks pretty new. It's in good
Okay,
shape. I mean, the exterior, it's not like scrubbed pristine, but it's in good shape. It's a pretty new building.
gotcha. I'm gonna go through the door back inside. Dr. Mafang, Lick, I got your wife on the phone. She's got a couple questions about how much yeast to put in the bread. You got a second?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hold on. Click, click. It's a little. s-
Mhm.
starts walking us.
Okay.
And so I tell Doc everything. I tell Doc about what Porter saw. I tell Doc about what Carpenter said to me. And I say, does any of this make sense to you?
Brian, that's actually a good question. Does that make sense to my character?
Well, I mean, you could make me a willpower roll if you were so inclined to see if you can get yourself to remember something.
That
See,
would be
John, you never use
fantastic.
willpower.
Actually, hold on. Is willpower?
I don't think it'll let me.
Yet I don't think it's even rollable in this. I've been having a couple different Cthulhu systems going on. So hold
Welcome to my
on.
world.
Yeah, exactly. Um, why don't yeah, no, you should be able to make if you just click on power in the statistics line.
Power or
Just
willpower? Oh, power. That's what you
Oh,
mean.
pow,
sorry, POW. Yeah, right.
pow. Okay, yeah, I could
Yeah,
definitely do
sorry,
pow.
different than willpower. Yeah, my bad.
All
Terminology
right.
is a thing.
Oh God.
Yeah, no, that doesn't sound familiar to you at all. It's almost like and it's weird because like as soon as you start thinking about it, hey, have I ever been here before? It's like your subconscious and your memory immediately comes back with a no.
Wrong number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I look at Remy like that makes no sense. You must have misheard.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
that
I'm
doesn't
sure that.
equate.
Sure. Okay. Listen. They want us. She wants us to stick around. And maybe when some of these scientists go home, and maybe we should do some more poking around. So, I don't know. You two are smarter than me. If we can come up with a reason to explain why we ain't leaving yet and why we're sticking around, and hopefully, Agent Garnett there's she was going to go get us a ID tag.
Yeah, so actually, as long as we're talking about that, while all this conversation is going on outside, any guard that's inside with Mr. Kozak, as a reminder, this is kind of the workshop. It has like some portable decontamination units and a lot of spare parts and stuff in here. So what are you doing while everybody's outside doing secrety things?
So while they're all discussing that, I want to see if I can find an ID card if there's one that's laying about, kind of perusing the area to see if somebody like left one on their desk, maybe kind of like walking around, looking into like offices. Obviously, not trying to be too obvious about it.
Sure, sure. Kozak looks like he's checking his phone and texting back and forth. Why don't you make me a search roll?
All right.
We'll start in this
Search.
room and see what you find. Okay.
Nice.
So you're looking around, and this is, like I said, obviously a place with a lot of spare parts. And you do see a little kind of plastic container that has what looks like a bunch of the same, because, they have the little clip on lanyard security badges with an RFID card next to them. And you do see a bunch of them in a thing here. You would guess that these are blank and not configured to do anything yet. But you should certainly be able to snag one of those or even a couple of them surreptitiously.
Yeah, I'll grab a couple of those, and then we will see about trying to get those programmed. See who would be responsible for that.
Okay.
Also, while I'm looking around, something that I may not do now, I may wait for everybody else to get in
Mm-hmm.
touch, but I
Mm-hmm.
think we should probably do a perimeter check, like talk to the
Mm,
security guards and like try to sell them on a story of like, hey, we heard somebody is interested in this area, and we're just checking out your security.
Okay. So you reach up and just sort of, quickly, you notice that that Kozak has kind of turned away for a second. You just kind of whoop, grab a handful of those and tuck them in a pocket. Um, and then, do you want to go out and start talking to security folks, or do you want to regroup with everybody else?
Yeah, I'll go talk to the rest of the team because I feel like they're going to be better off at trying to figure out how to program these. That's not really my expertise.
Okay.
So I
All right.
will hand that off to them.
All right, so you head out. Kozak kind of follows you to the door, and just sort of, kind of because everybody's out here now. It's like everything okay with you guys?
So I immediately flipped the phone open like I've been on it the whole
Uh
time.
huh.
And I'm like,
Uh huh.
hey, no, no, honey, I understand that, but whether she's pregnant or not, she's still 16. Hold on a second. This is a real private conversation, Doc. Do you mind stepping back inside?
Yeah. No. 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 Sure. If you, I just want to make sure you're okay here. I'm
Yeah,
gonna head back
little
to the lab. You
little
guys
family
holler
thing,
if you
little
need
family
anything.
thing. Yeah,
Sure.
yep, yep.
Okay. And he wanders off.
And then I close the phone.
Okay.
I bring Agent Garnet up, tell her about the conversation with the handler, what Porter says and thinks, and how Dr. Mafang is no help. So
Hua is the family name. It's Dr. Hua.
Dr.
I'm
Dr.
not
Wall.
convinced Remy would get that, but
Well, that's what we were here.
look, I looked around just so you know, Garnet. I looked around and I didn't see no gunshots or nothing. And I kind of like pull her aside a little bit and go, not real sure. Carpenter's okay, and I'm a little worried about Porter right now. But I'm thinking we need to come up with an excuse to stick around here. Carpenter says, she wants us here at least till after the scientists leave. So whatever ideas you got.
Well, my thought on that is we have our scientists make some kind of test ups. What's something that we could test, like that you guys could sell as like, hey, we're testing this. I don't know anything about this sort of stuff, so
Dr. Hua speaks up and goes, well, as a matter of fact, over by the computer, there was a box full of uh, 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 paper that was looked like data logs. We could say we need to evaluate those here on site. That would give us plenty of time to do an overnight audit of the data analyst, or doing some data analytics.
sure, whatever sounds good. I mean, in the
They're they're
meantime,
they're not going to go for that. This computer is ridiculously powerful.
Yeah, that's why you're here, Porter. Come on now.
I everything I threw at it, it knew everything. Well, almost everything, except it's
Time to
not.
stop playing double A ball, man. Time to step up. Let's get going.
speaking of which, I need you to do something as well. And I hand him like the ID badges, kind of like give them to him like covertly, just making sure nobody else is looking. It's like, I need you to program these. I don't know how to best do that. Assume you could probably figure that out.
I'll try. Dr. Wa,
Yeah.
what these people are doing, can it just it doesn't make any sense to me, but they seem very convinced. Could it cause time jumps or travel or something?
Well, I don't know what other people's history is before they came here, but I've experienced some weird stuff and some phenomena. So I wouldn't say no right away, but I doubt it.
What about it's stupid. I've been watching too many movies. What about alternate timelines? Or I don't know. It's something
Dr.
weird.
Hua just goes down this rabbit hole of this multi theory.
Yeah.
Just until someone interrupts him, he is talking these
Crisis on
long,
Infinite Earths.
right, buzzword, 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 and
Mhm.
um,
That's why we have 4 Green Lanterns.
right, and then he sees a mosquito and just stops. It just kind of freaks out and without really
Uh,
giving any real information.
So why don't you go in? I like your data idea, your audit idea. I think is real strong. Agent Porter, you feel good about and hey, nice work, Garnet. You feel good about getting these tags?
I don't know. I mean, I'd have to find their data that they're using, and I don't know whether that's
Well, good
internal or external.
good news is there's only 4 walls to this building, and we've seen all of them, so you know where to find it. Um, and Garnet, what do you think? I like your idea of doing a little perimeter work. So happy to do it with you. We can hop in the car and drive up. Start with the security.
Yeah, start with security, kind of get a perimeter check in case we need to come and go.
And then,
Oh,
Agent Porter, hopefully by the time we get back, you got that all programmed out. And Dr. Hui, you
What do
got us
we
set for
want?
you're all night.
What do we want these for? I'm unclear.
There's that door, there's that door, and I just start pointing to all the doors on the array, pointing into the building. I'm like,
Oh,
there's lots of doors, and we want to get into all the doors.
okay. Well, have we asked? They said when we
We
got here we couldn't go in the array, didn't they?
and we want to go in those
they
doors.
did.
So
Yeah.
Well, guys, there's messy desks and uh, uh, things left about on these desks. Why don't we just swap the key card with somebody else's, and they just take a blank, and we have their programmed key
That
card?
that was
What?
my actual first thought of ways to get this done. Because
You guys are first team spy agents. Let's go ahead and get that taken care of. We're headed to the security gate.
So I
All right.
put one of those key cards in my pocket
Mhm,
to be
mhm.
yeah,
ready to swap out.
All right, sounds good. So I'm hearing that Beaumont and Garnet are heading off to start doing security things. And then where are the other two of you headed?
I'm gonna go to Doctor Black's office.
Okay.
Isn't he the messy guy?
He
He's
is
the
the messy
messy
guy.
guy.
Yep. And
Yeah.
then Dr. Hua, where are you headed?
I'm going to go into that main control room with the computer
Okay.
where we saw the.
All right.
Just
So actually, as the two of you are heading down this hallway, this second door on your left opens, and a gentleman walks out, or actually kind of uh, stumbles out. Let me move him on here. Um, so yeah, it is an older Asian gentleman, kind of comes out the door here and seems to be a little unsteady on his feet. He kind of braces himself against the doorway for a second and then starts heading down the hall ahead of you. He doesn't seem to have noticed you yet.
okay. Did he close the door behind him?
He did not.
Okay.
I nudge Porter. The door. Should go
Yeah.
in the door.
I go inside that office.
Okay. Um,
Is it okay? So it's that office. Okay.
yes, yeah, that's the one he came out of. So yeah, it is a little bit cramped for two people, but it's a relatively tidy two-person office, desks, computers, pretty well organized. You see, little nameplates on one that says, Dr. Takagawa, and the other one says, Evan Kozak, or Mr. Kozak is what it would say.
Mhm.
Um, what you doing in there?
First, I give it. Was he wearing that? I was able to see his ID tag.
You didn't get a good look at the front of him. He was wearing like a lab coat like the others did. Usually they have
Okay.
it clipped to the pockets, but you're not sure.
Okay. So I'll just give a quick look around to see if there are any of those just happen to be lying around, because that would be awesome.
All right, well, give me a search roll.
Oh,
Meanwhile, Dr. Hua, what are you doing while he's in there?
I'm poking out the door, barely, just making sure nobody's coming around.
Okay, so you're just hanging out, playing cover. All right. This guy kind of heads over into the men's room or the restroom.
Bam.
Wow. Okay.
apparently
Yeah.
we're out of the middle today. Two ends.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you take a quick scan around. There's nothing that looks actionable on the desks. You take a quick look, and then like there's a sofa off to one side, and on the nightstand, not the nightstand, but the side table, the end table next to the sofa, you do see what looks like one of those badge lanyards, with a card in it,
Does it have
and
any identification on it?
yes, it has a picture of a guy who looks very similar to the one who just stumbled down the hall, and says, Dr. Takagawa,
Okay.
and it does
I
have the card behind it.
I just pocket the whole thing.
Okay, done.
Okay. Anything else obvious in here?
Not really. I mean, the desk spaces are both pretty functional. There's like a little bonsai plant on one, and there's probably a little Mega Man statuette on the other one. But there's not a lot of personal effects on the desk, and it doesn't look like there's much in the way of paperwork on here. The computers are both password locked right now,
Yeah.
so you can't tell what they had on.
D, are you here?
There is no response.
Okay. I come back out and I just nod to the doctor.
Okay.
All right.
And you guys
Good.
heading on?
Yeah. Uh,
Okay.
I tell Porter that the doctor's there and he ducked into the restroom. Um, do we need to talk to him? Do we need to go?
No.
No. All right. All right. So
No,
we'll
we
just
don't need
keep
to talk
walking.
to really anybody, I don't think.
So just as the two of you, kind of are heading along the hall here towards your respective destinations, the restroom door opens, and the same guy you saw, presumably Dr. Takagawa, um, is kind of pushes the door open, and he's even worse off than he was before. He's kind of clinging to the door frame. Um, and as you look at him, it looks like his eyes have a faint, like, electric blue glow to them, like they're actually radiating light. You have to be pretty close to him to see it, but he looks in a very bad way. He seems troubled. He seems weak, um, and he kind of clings to the door and he says, "Who is there?"
We're the investigators that are here today.
Oh,
I'm
can
going to knock on that door right behind us.
okay.
And
You hear a voice say, "Come in."
yeah, sir, one of your people is ill here, I think.
Oh, okay. And he kind of, after a moment comes up and opens the
Yeah.
door. He says, "Oh, Dr. Takagawa, you're awake. What's going on?" And Takagawa says, Everything is going dark. I can't see. I don't know what's happened. I woke up and I went to urinate, and then as I was finishing that, everything started going dark. I don't know what's going on. Can we call the hospital, please, or the paramedics, 911?
We actually have a paramedic with us.
Yes, that would be good. Thank you. Can someone? Um, I would like to sit down. Can someone help me to a chair?
Yeah. I'll immediately get next to Dr. Takagawa and
Hmm.
start escorting
Uh,
him over to the
I
to a chair.
send Remy a text
Hmm.
to tell him that there's a medical issue that we need a paramedic for.
All right. So while all that has been going on, you guys have been heading out. It sounded like you were going to the car because there's a little security gate or a little security hut out front of this building, and then there's like the parking lot and the driveway up to the main entrance.
And is that hut manned?
It is. Well, it's womaned in this case, but yes.
Right.
Mhm.
Um, right, like right when we step out, it's just the two of us. Hopefully,
Mhm.
outside of hearing distance for the woman in the hut.
Mhm.
I'd like to turn to you, Garnet, and go. Look, have you worked with Agent Porter before?
I've not worked with any of the others before.
Okay, so I I'm a little worried about him. He's doing a little bit of nutty talk. So obviously, he seems like a real smart guy, but I don't loan him money, is what I'm saying. We just keep a close eye on him. But
Don't worry,
yeah,
I keep an eye on all of you.
I don't doubt that. Yeah, you want to sweet talk our girl up there?
Yeah. So we head up there.
All right. So you head up there. The young lady who you met before, Officer Henson, seems a little surprised to see you come like around rather than outside the building. It's like, "Oh, can I help you folks?"
Yes, we have some reports from our bosses saying something that there could be some other outside parties interested in this facility and not in a good way. And so I was going to check on the security that you have in place here just to make sure everything looks up to quota and that if you have any issues that you'll be able to handle it, like if there's any weak spots in the fence or anything like that.
Well, what information do you need to have? I'm going to have to call that in.
Sure. We're just like if somebody could take us around the perimeter and just like check everything and like see what kind of security measures you have, just to make sure everything is looking good. Because, like I said, we've heard some stories and reports like of people talking about wanting to investigate this place, like outsiders wanting to like break in the facility.
Well, what kind of people? Because I mean, I'm gonna have to call this into Breckenridge.
Yeah, you and we'll do that. Before we get everybody's like, everybody freaking out though. You know what?
Well, I mean, if you have actionable information that there are outside parties looking at this facility, we need to know that now.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
and our bosses are taking care of it. Like I'm part of the FBI. We're on top of it. We're making
You're you're
sure.
I thought you were Department of Energy.
So don't
She's a
tell anybody about. No, it's fine. It's fine. I kind of pull out. I actually pull out the badge, and I'm like,
Uh-huh.
look, I'm part of here. These others are actually part of the Department of Energy. I was told to go here with my bosses to check this facility out because of these reports, and like they, I was brought in. So I don't know any of these other individuals that I'm here with. I'm here on my own specifically to check out the facility.
Go ahead and make me a persuade roll if you would.
Remy's over there going, I'm shocked if I'm gambling in this.
Gasp!
See, you gotta fake it. You gotta act like, oh, I didn't know
Mhm.
that. Ah,
Oh
Ah!
dear. And so she sort of looks at you and she looks at the badge and says, "Well, sure, but if your boss is at the FBI, who is your contact over there? Because I'm gonna call Breckenridge and have them reach out. Because if there's something going on in this facility, we need to know about that."
What are the chances that I've got my text message yet?
Not
Not yet.
quite yet. Took a
Okay.
little
All
time to do that. Says Craig, desperately looking for a way out of this conversation.
right. Look,
so
officer. Look. Just so I kind of like, pretend
Mhm.
like I'm
Right.
saying this to her, not Gar. Look,
Uh-huh.
she's a worrywart. And it has been my experience these last few days that if you just like she wants a tour. She doesn't know what the hell's out there. Can you just drive her around real quick? You guys will be best buds by the time you're back.
I'm not here to give tours, sir. I'm here
I
for
uh, I
security.
I understand that. We have swept the inside of the building. There's a whole lot of really smart people doing a lot of really smart stuff. There's nothing crazy going on. We've almost wrapped this stuff up. It would, you know what? I want to go home. All right. I am tired of being here. You don't want me here. So can you just give her a quick tour so
No,
that
I'm
she'll
not
let
going to
us
leave
go?
my post, especially if there's things going on. I mean, I understand. We have cameras all over this thing. We have full coverage on the gates and the roads, exterior and the interior. We know
Ma'am,
what we're going. But if there are issues going on here, I need to contact my supervisor.
ma'am, there's no issues. That's what I'm
Well,
saying. I'm
but
saying
that's
that
not what the FBI is saying
I
now, is it?
understand that. I'm saying that she gets all bent out of shape, all bent out of shape. Like if the weatherman's wrong, she gets all bent out of shape. Like
She just said she didn't know you. How do you know so much about how she's acting?
we had a long drive here. Look, I'm trying to help you. And the best way for you, I think, wouldn't it be better if we were gone?
Make me a persuade roll if you would, Craig.
I'm trying.
I know you are. I know you are.
Oh, the face like this, I can't be the face. All right, where's my unbelievable persuade?
Hmm.
Okay.
All right. And she says, "Look, I appreciate what you're saying here, but I'm not I'm
look, let
staying."
me let me talk to my boss. I will see if I can get you a contact point, and we will have you reach out. But I need to speak. You can speak to her directly and figure out this sort of thing if you need to report it. But it's only going to cause more problems if we report it. Like I said, this is all things that we found. It's online post. It's just something we're following. It's not something that's an active, credible threat necessarily. We just have to follow up on these things to make sure that it's not a potential problem.
All right. Well, you can go around and have a look if you want, but I need to stay at my post.
That's fine. And I'll give her a call and I will get you that information. Anything that would be pertinent that's not classified as far as that goes.
Thank you.
And I'm going to squeeze your arm, Garnet, and say under my breath, she cannot pick up that phone.
Beaumont, your phone vibrates.
I look at it. Shit, something's going on inside. Look, I'm going to head back. You okay out here?
Yeah. I'm
And
fine.
when she hears you say that, she kind of goes over and start looking at the cameras. She has like a little set of monitors, and she starts flipping through some of the internal the camera feeds.
Okay.
It's like, oh yeah, it looks like Dr. Takagawa's not doing so good.
Yeah, look, I took a first aid course last week, so I'm going to head on in there real quick.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to run to Takao.
Okay, cool. So remind me, uh, you were taking her to what, into Black's office, into his office? Where were you going with Dr. Takagawa?
Probably back into his own office to the
All right, cool. So you guys all kind of cluster in here.
well, yeah, I lag a little,
Okay. All right, sure.
so yeah.
And then while we're outside, so Garnet, what are you doing now? Because she looks like she's looking on the camera. She's seen Remy go inside, and she's sort of half looking at you and half watching the screens.
So I'm just going to do a perimeter check. Like I said, you can keep an eye on me. I'm sure you have plenty of cameras to do so. I'm just
Oh,
going to
yeah.
walk around. And
Okay.
then, yeah, if I have any questions or if I notice anything, I'll let you know.
I'll be here.
And I will do exactly that. I'm basically looking for spots where if we need to get in and out of the facility that we could potentially use and kind of like try to take notes of where all the cameras are, any security measures they have, anything like that.
Okay. As you're walking away, go ahead and make me an alertness roll, if you would.
Alertness.
Yay, success.
Oh, goody. Yeah. So basically, as you're heading out, along the driveway back, kind of, starting along the road where you came in, you do see that she is picking up a phone and dialing something.
I will start to walk back. Excuse me, I have a question real fast and like just try to interrupt her from.
Yeah, and she kind of puts the phone, in the cooker neck and says, "Yeah,
Yeah, and I will try to like point out something. It's like I noticed
yeah.
that,
Hold on just a sec."
and then I will like try to point behind her. It's like what there's something over here I'm noticing that's kind of weird. And I need you to look at this real fast.
Okay. Um, I think that is likely to be. Let's see. We don't have fast talk, so I'm going to call that another persuade.
Okay. All right. This is gonna go terribly, guys. I'm sorry.
This would be a good one to be successful on.
Okay. Well, I'll see
Pro,
what I
pro
can do.
Get
tip.
on it, man.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay, so she kind of looks, turns and looks behind her, and says, that's the AC unit."
No, that's not what I'm saying. Over here, trying to get her away from the phone, actually, like to like put not necessarily hang up per se, but like put the
Right.
phone down and like actually walk out of the like just step out for a second. I just want
All
to
right,
I want you to look at it.
all right. Well, with your success, um, so she basically says, "Yeah, this is Officer Henson at Olympic. Uh, hold on for just a second. Let me talk to Steve." And she puts the phone down. Actually, she puts a hold button and puts it back on the
Hmm.
handle. And she says, so, what are you looking for? What do you need?"
So, and this is going to be like this is knowledge that I would probably have.
Hmm.
Choking somebody out, that's going to put them out for only probably like an hour at best.
At best, probably less than that.
So we'd have to figure out something to do. But if that gives us enough time to like figure things out,
I mean, you certainly see that she does have handcuffs on her
Mhm.
on her
Okay.
belt.
Yeah, I'm going to probably do a stupid thing and do some unarmed combat and try to like choke her out, handcuff her, and
100% behind this.
Yes.
prevent her from like doing anything that we don't want. And
Psychopaths
we
with
have an
memories of a
hour to
killer.
figure out what the hell to do while she is, hopefully, if this works.
Okay, well, give me an unarmed combat roll and let's see what happens. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Oh, thank God.
Ooh, I like that. 41.
All right. Well, she was, you've got her looking in the wrong, looking in the wrong direction.
Mhm.
She absolutely did not see this coming. So, basically you're able to, get her in a chokehold and start putting her out. And how is her unarmed combat? What is she going to try and do in this situation? Um, Yeah, she's going to attempt to break out of that grapple. She does kind of a standard police self-defense training kind of thing. And she is going to make a roll. I'm going to give her a slight penalty because you have her at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she basically comes and does a grab for you, and you just kind of lift her back a little bit. You're taller than she is, so you can kind of put her off, get most of the weight off her feet. She at that point starts scrabbling for the gun at her hip, but she actually passes out before she's able to get it drawn.
All right, then get the handcuffs, handcuff her, kind of tuck her out of sight, and hey,
Hmm.
we have control. Pick up the phone as soon as this happens, and be like,
Yep.
sorry about that. We had a little bit of a medical issue. One of our staff is having some problems, but I think we're okay. I just wanted to make sure we were going to check in to make sure, but like we have somebody checking them out. It
Who's
seems
this
like it's
speaking?
okay. And do I have I seen any? This is the only security person that I've seen. As
There
far as
was one out front.
gotcha. Did
Yeah,
I
I
His
don't.
did we
name
get the
was
name?
Gonzalez.
Yes, apparently you did. Someone was paying attention.
Or went back and took notes today.
Yeah, this is Gonzalez. Like it's all good. We're sorry to interrupt you. We were just
All
Everything's
right, give
okay
me
here.
give me one more persuade
Totally
roll.
Han Solo.
We're all
How are
fine
you?
here now. How are you?
oh boy. Okay, I'm not good at this persuasion thing.
It's true. It's true. Um, so there's kind of a pause and says, all right, okay, sounds like you've got it under control. Thanks for calling.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's kind of
Oh,
my response is like shit. All right.
Okay.
Well,
So
we have less time.
right. So looking at what you've got, you're probably able to sort of tuck her between the building and the security hut, sort of at a sight there.
Mhm.
And yes, you now have the security station here under control. I'm going to cut back to the inside of the building for right now, um, where everybody is sort of clustered around Dr. Takagawa.
I immediately come in,
Yep.
realize whatever Eddie's doing, see him
Mhm.
there. Say, Doc, I'll be with you in just a second. I'm going to turn to you, Porter, and it's going to be, I've been doing kind of the Southern gentleman kind of thing going. I'm actually going to physically press you against the wall, um,
Hmm.
and say, we need to figure out if there's landlines connected here and how security can call out because we have a problem. So if you can go find me a tuna sandwich, and while you're out there, we want nobody making phone calls.
Understood.
Okay.
All right.
I pull a pen light out of my
Mhm.
jacket, and I'm going to start looking at
Okay.
our doctor.
Okay. Um, so you're checking him out there. Porter, where are you going? Or what are you doing?
Well, I was gonna go look in the messy office, but I think I better go outside to the security hut.
Okay. So you go outside, and you see Agent Garnett kind of frantically going through the security hut. I'm not sure exactly what he's doing yet. Um, you you may or may not notice if you want to make an alertness roll, you can. The unconscious security guard stuff
I, I,
behind the building.
uh, I probably won't notice, but let's go ahead and fail that roll. Get
Yep.
that out of the
Okay.
way.
Get
Yeah.
that
So
out
you
of the
just
way.
head straight out, and you're like, what are you doing
Yeah.
here, and where's the security guard?
Everything okay out here? Remy
Oh.
seemed very upset about someone making a phone call.
No.
Yeah, that's not a problem right now, but we may have incoming security. And then I kind of like jerk my head towards the corner where she is.
Oh,
Work fast. Go tell him to work fast. I got my eyes on the cameras.
I'm not. If you want to talk to him, send him a text message. I
Your
kneel
corner.
down and pull. I open my bag, pull out a
Right.
pair of wire cutters, and clip the phone line. All right.
Okay.
You seem
Yeah.
very upset about someone making a call, so that should take care of that.
Okay.
Oh, here I have an ID that should work
Oh,
at least
thank you.
for a while.
Mhm.
You might want to go use it now.
Yeah, if you want to watch this and keep an eye on the
No, I
cameras real
don't.
fast.
But I would
I know
prefer
you
to go
don't.
with you. I think would be a better option.
All right, well then let's go, and hopefully
Okay.
nobody sees this.
All right.
Okay.
So I'd like
Well,
both of you to make me an alertness roll. It's not important. It's just a little.
Yeah,
detail.
but
can't
he
possibly be.
randomly does that every once in a while.
All right, cool. So you
Yeah.
guys are heading back to where the other buildings are, the atrium and
Total
the
failure.
Yeah, we'll
lasers.
find the real security guy. We'll find the real Rodriguez.
All right, so off you go. Meanwhile, back inside, Remy, you're checking out Dr. Takagawa. You notice several things immediately. His body temperature, he has a fever. It's fairly light, but even in the time it takes you when you're checking him, it seems to be slowly increasing. Also, you can see that not only are his eyes kind of glowing when you do the classic, open your mouth, say ah kind of thing, his saliva appears to be glowing that same bright blue color.
Um,
He's starting to panic and he keeps asking, call the hospital, call my family,
yeah,
call yeah.
that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to turn to everybody but Dr. Wah and say, look,
Mhm.
we got something going on here. Might be contagious. I don't know. I've got 2 patches from the Boy Scouts for first aid. So I'm going to handle this. But I'd feel much better if the 2 of you weren't in here. Dr. Wah, I'm going to need you as a consultation.
All right, so Kozak's the only other one that's in here right now.
Oh, where'd the doc go? Oh, it's just
Which
one
doc?
other outsider.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
sorry.
one other outsider here.
Yeah,
yeah.
I need help getting that person out.
Sure. Okay. Well. As soon as you say that, he says, "Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna call 911," and he goes back to his office.
Oh, son of a bitch! Don't let him call 911.
I can't shut off all the phones.
Dr. Wah goes, what?
No, look at me. Nobody makes any goddamn phone calls. Go stop.
Okay.
No.
I-
My family. I need to know.
Yeah. I got a special radio to the hospital. It's gonna be fine. Just lay down for me. And you lay down.
Got a special radio to the hospital.
So,
I go chase after the guy that was in there.
and
Okay.
and I'm doing, doing obviously the medical stuff, noticing the blue stuff. I kind of stop really
Right.
giving a shit as far as trying to,
Convince
triage
him.
what the hell's going
Right.
on.
Exactly.
Right. What I
Mhm.
do want to do is get him talking about, all right, in order for me to understand what's going on here, you got to walk me through the last couple hours. Okay. So
Okay.
what were you doing 30 minutes ago?
I've. What time is it?
Look at my
And you
watch.
tell him it's about 7 o'clock.
Yeah, it's about 7 o'clock. So what were you doing at 6:30?
I don't know. I think I was here. The last thing I remember was about 3:30. I was looking at the lasers in the atrium, and
What do you mean the lasers in the atrium? What's that mean?
the array, the lasers that we use to study the molecular matter.
So you were out in the buildings out there?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So what happened out in the buildings?
I don't know. I was looking at the equipment there, and everything seemed fine. And then I woke up here about 15 minutes ago.
Okay. How many times you been out to them buildings today?
3 or 4.
And nothing weird happened till just now, right? Like that's the last thing you remember. All the other visits were fine.
Yes, everything was running smoothly.
Talk to me about yesterday. I need to know what you ate, but more importantly, I need to know where you were and what you did.
Is the ambulance coming?
I got to figure out if you're contagious first or not. All right. So walk me through yesterday.
Um, okay, he starts telling you about
And
yesterday.
I'm looking to like anything, Brian, that in any way can help me piece stuff together. And I just keep digging and digging. And I'll throw in like a legitimate thing, like, did you have any, you know, did you eat any stuff past the expiration date? Just like stuff like that. But I'm
Yeah,
really trying to get as much information out of this guy as I possibly can. I
yeah.
don't give a shit whether he lives or dies.
Cool, good to know. Good bedside manner there. Yeah, basically, his story seems like, it was pretty much an average work day. He went in, he was working on, yesterday he was doing all the final checks before they were scheduled to turn it on today. He, his wife, usually makes him a little bento box that he brings in. But I have felt fine. I didn't feel sick or nauseous at all at any point. um you don't he seems both physically and from what he's describing to you as though this was just a sudden thing out of nowhere, and he's fucking terrified that what's just happened because
Okay.
he's achy, his body is starting to ache, he can't see, and he has no idea what's going on, and he's frankly terrified.
Yeah. I do want to find out whether he noticed if the computer AI was doing anything weird. So I ask a couple questions around that.
He doesn't seem to think there was anything. I mean, the computer doesn't have a direct interface out there in the other buildings, so he
So I'm still seeing the blue
yeah,
eyes,
yeah.
still seeing the
Yep,
saliva, temperature still going up.
yep. Like, not dramatically, but it's definitely increasing. Um,
I'm gonna punch
you
him and knock him out.
okay. Um, I'm not gonna make you roll for that because he can't see it coming and he's pretty
Yep.
weak as it is. It may take a couple hits,
Yep.
but you put him down.
Put him
Um,
down. I'm gonna kind of get him onto he's already on the
mhm,
couch. I want to see
mhm.
if there's a blanket or a jacket. So make it look like he's taking a
Sure.
nap.
Yeah, I mean, you can grab a blanket and stuff here. One thing you do notice is that, he bleeds a little where you hit him, and the blood also has that bluish glow to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that part of his head on the pillow.
Okay. All right, sounds good. So meanwhile, Dr. Hua, you were down chasing Mr. Kozak, and he's basically going to his office, and he actually he just stands in the doorway of his office and pulls out his cell phone, and you see him dial beep boop boop.
I tackle him. I commit to it. I don't even
Okay,
care. I
all
go
right.
in and I tackle him.
Hey, I feel
Uh,
like we've reached that point in the adventure at this
Yeah,
point.
I mean,
yeah,
our Delta Green has the number one objective, right? If we can handle anything else, that's gravy. But the first thing is nobody
Uh-huh.
knows what the fuck's going on here, that other than who's here.
All right, Doc, make me an unarmed combat roll.
oh Lord, bear me strength.
We have a prime directive here, which is part of what I love about this game.
Okay. Well, again, he was totally not expecting that. So, you kind of grab him and, I don't know, probably slam him up against the desk. What is your objective? Are you trying to, like, pin him? Are you trying to knock him out? What are you trying to achieve here?
Initially, I'm trying to knock the phone out of his hand and pin him. Um,
Okay.
and yeah,
All right, so you knock the phone out of his hand. It goes scattering across the office. You hear very distantly from over there, 911, what is your emergency? Um, and but he just kind of half turns towards you, and he looks surprised and a little hurt that you would do this to him. He thought you were friends. He's like, what's going, what?
I I cover his mouth. I say, Dr. Kozak, stop. Hold on, real quick. And I jump up. I go grab that phone
Uh-huh.
and say, "Oh, I'm so sorry. My son, he dialed this number. I'm so sorry. There's no emergency." And I click it. I hang it up. I'm done.
And he's looking at you, and he suddenly turns and bolts out the door.
This motherfucker. What's my speed? I'm going after him.
Okay.
It's a 5x5 grid.
Yeah.
All right. So he's got a little bit of a head start on you. but you're able to get in the hall. What's the plan if slash when you catch him?
To knock his ass out.
All right, cool. So he is basically at Campbell's door, reaching for the knob. Give me another unarmed combat roll.
Punish him.
And I'm the one everybody was worried about.
Can I spend luck in
Yeah,
this
right.
Nope.
Damn it.
Let me see. I'm trying to remember if this is a rule set in which you can push.
Yeah, I can't
I
remember
don't
with Delta Green if
think
you can
it.
push or spend
I
luck.
know you can't
think
do
it
luck, and I
was.
don't think you can push either.
Mm-mm.
Nope. Nope. These things just happen sometimes.
Shane Ivey and Dennis Willer hate us.
Yeah. So basically, you kind of go grabbing for him, and he sort of sees you coming out of the corner of his eye and just sort of flattens himself against the door,
Yeah.
and then slams it open and says, "Dr. Campbell, they've gone crazy." And she kind of has been typing on it because she kind of looks up, just sort of like, "What?" While all that's going on, we have a couple people going out to the atrium and the laser array, I believe. So you guys make your way out there, and basically what you have is there is one kind of long, low, windowless concrete building about 65 feet long and maybe 10, 12 feet wide. And then there are basically some straight concrete tubes. One goes out of the end of that building to like a little square hut that's like 10 by 10, and then like in a T shape, two others go off like that. So it's basically, you know, yeah, it's basically a T shape with one building and the four little ones or three little ones.
Right. The one is in the middle, right at the T intersection.
The long one is like the base of the T. Let me see. I think I have a
I know
picture
there was
of
a
that.
picture, right?
Yeah, exactly. So if you look on roll 20, yeah, of course it
Right.
doesn't show, but this one here that is the base of the T is the longer one.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah, and they all have what look like pretty probably airtight doors. They each have a little badge reader next to them. Um, there are signs on each of the doors that say, warning, do not enter without decontamination procedures, sensitive machinery inside.
I look at that. I'm like, we don't have time for this shit. I just like
Mhm.
scan the badge.
Okay, which one are you going into? The big building or one of the little ones?
Yeah, we'll go to the primary to start with.
All right, cool. So you beep that open, and yeah, badge works fine. It opens up, and basically it is one big long room, and inside it is almost filling the whole thing is this long, complicated set of machinery and tubing and little computer readouts and wiring and coolant systems and power systems. um I would say that let's see, Porter, I think you have a pretty good knowledge of electronics as well as computer stuff, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably.
Yeah, microelectronics. Yeah, you have a lot of
Yes.
that. Yeah, so basically, it certainly seems like this is a large, high-powered laser structure, and it's clearly aimed to go through these concrete tubes off to whatever is in those other buildings. You can't tell a lot of details because the casing is all shut up, but
What is the casing have an obvious way to open it?
yeah, there are panels that are open. They don't appear to be locked or anything like that.
Okay. Well, I want to open them.
Okay. Yeah, so you do that, and it is it sort of takes you a minute to get your bearings as far as what this thing is. But it is super efficient for one thing. You can already tell that this is sort of bleeding edge technology as far as the precision, the aiming, the computer systems, the coolant systems. And it is super well isolated against any sort of outside interference, any kind of EMP stuff, any radiation, noise, vibration. This thing is locked down to a
Well, it
very high
was.
level. It was. Now you've opened the hatch. It is less so. This is probably beyond anything you've seen technology wise.
D?
Why do you keep saying D?
Yes.
Because that computer it monitors the whole base. That's where all this data this thing is collecting goes to.
And then she says yes, as she did
Mhm.
respond. I'm like,
Yeah, so
oh,
there's like little speakers up in the corner.
Did D respond?
Yes, she said yes.
Okay. Uh, are you still getting jutter? What was it called?
Yes.
Stutter?
Yes, data input is continuous.
Okay. Okay.
It appears that the casing of the primary laser system has been opened. This may lead to contamination.
It'll be okay. Don't worry about that.
I've reinterpreted the signals with greater accuracy. Would you like to review them and tell me whether they're clearer?
Yes.
Okay. A little monitor, sort of comes to life. There's like a little, sort of wall-mounted keyboard and mouse thing up
Mhm.
there. Um, and you see a graph that looks kind of very similar to the one you've seen before with the different outputs. Um, do you wish audio input?
No, not this time. No, thank you.
Okay.
Um, the
Uh, Go ahead and make me a sanity roll if you would, John.
I was hoping to avoid that.
No, 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 no. There's none of that.
He's the apes.
Oh no. No, no,
Oh
no.
no. No, no, no. All right. Well, the good news
It
is
only cost me 20. No.
no, 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 no. It cost you 4 sanity.
Oh, 3 plus
Um,
1. Wait. Oh, so I could have cost me 5, I see.
it could have cost you 5, but it didn't. See, good
Look at
news.
that.
Mhm.
Great, good outcome.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, it definitely looks clearer, and you see sort of the same pattern of recurring spikes that you saw before. There's a new one in the recent data that wasn't there before. Um, and it's like just like when you saw this before, it feels like that kind of is matching up with something in your head that you can't put into words. It seems it's like sort of your reaction when you look at it is like, yes, of course that's right.
D, are these becoming any more frequent?
Frequency is unchanged at 65 minutes and 47 seconds.
Okay. Did these start when the power surge happened?
Data has been consistent since 10 a.m. this morning, Central Time, when the system was activated.
Did the power source, was it internal or external? The
I
power
don't have
surge?
enough data to answer that.
Have you heard anyone talking about it?
I do not monitor human conversations unless my name is particularly brought into play.
Hmm. What would happen if these lasers were turned off?
I would stop receiving data.
Can you turn them off?
I could.
Hmm.
will you turn them off? This is the
Not
first
at
time
this
I'm
time.
speaking.
Yeah,
Not at this time. Data investigation is
I just
ongoing.
hold up a finger at you, look at you like,
The adults are talking.
yeah. Uh, so D, where did you come from?
The question is nonsensical. I was built by let's see, who was it?
Betadine system? No, wait.
Skynet. No,
John Connor.
right, exactly. Um, no, I was built by Olympian Advances Incorporated.
And who was your creator?
I was not created by any single individual. I'm the result of many years of hardware and software advances.
And how did they make your system so small?
Highly efficient processors.
I see. Thank you, D.
Of course.
So who controls this damn computer?
I believe the people here think they do.
You mean they think they do?
I mean, I suppose that it's probably programmed to obey the woman in charge, uh, Doctor Campbell.
Speaking of Dr. Campbell,
Uh-oh.
so she is sitting behind her desk, um, with a panicky Dr. Kozak in front of her, and a Dr. Hua who has just sort of missed a a swing. And she just sort of, bolts up from behind her desk and says, "Stand down! What the hell's going on here?"
Brian, real quick,
Mhm.
do I have my? Did I grab a 40 cal weapon?
There was certainly a bunch of them in the truck, and you might well have gotten one.
Oh, this poor guy. He's gonna fumble his gun out, and yeah.
Wait,
Eh,
the two people who know how to use guns are all not here.
right.
It's
And we've
fine.
divided
I,
this
I
party in 3 different
Perfectly,
locations, which is
perfectly, I might
I'm
add.
really hoping that Remy can hear this, but that's up to Brian.
Make me an awareness roll, Craig.
All right.
Meanwhile, or alertness rather. So you pull the gun out and
uh guys, stop. This is a health concern for everybody. You need to stop running and stop making calls. We need to contain this now. Stop, stop, stop. Oh,
all
hell
right.
yeah.
I'm gonna have you make me a persuade roll with plus 20% because gun. And yes, Remy, you do hear him shouting this down the hall just as you finish knocking out the.
I'm just
Yes, exactly that. Exactly. You're not used to doing this thing.
right. Not even pointing it at him. I'm just kind of doing this side thing.
Uh-huh. So basically, Kozak turns as you're talking, sees the gun, and they're just kind of like, uh, and Dr. Campbell kind of says, sort of puts her hands out to the side and says, "Okay, we need to talk about what's going on here. Will you please put down the gun? No one here wants to hurt you. No one wants to see anyone else hurt."
I Yeah, I'll follow direct. When I hear that response, I just kind of bring it right back down.
Okay. So still holding it. You're not. You're
Still
not.
holding it.
Okay. All right. She says, and Remy, tell me what you're doing. I'm assuming you're heading in this direction, but
Yeah, you let me know when I walk in the door.
all right. Well, I mean, this is all kind of in the doorway here, so you kind of are about here, and you see him, sort of pointing the gun and then lowering it a little bit. He's pointing at whoever's in that office.
So everybody can just see me just roll my eyes, just not say it out loud, right? And I come over and not trying to in any way um be aggressive towards the doctor. I'm going to kind of put my hand on the gun and kind of
Mhm.
make eye contact with you, doc, and like let me have this kind of look on my face. Yeah. In turn, I'm going to push what's his nuts in the office. So I've got both
Mhm.
of them in the office.
Right.
Um,
So, and I'm sorry, did you take his gun or
I
you just
do. I have the gun.
okay.
I'm not
All right.
pointing it, but I have the
Sure, sure,
gun.
sure. Okay.
And to be clear, I don't have it just like lax next to my side. I've got it up, but I'm not pointing at anybody.
Right, right,
Right.
right, right.
So
But it
like
is
that's
ready. Mhm.
right, right.
Got it.
Um, and I say, look, we got a situation with your Dr. Taekwondo. So he's not well, and we've got to lock this entire place down. So, and does she have a phone on her desk?
She does.
I take the phone, I rip it out of the um wall, and I throw it up against the wall. I say,
Okay.
We don't need anybody coming here. We don't want to bring any attention here. And
What
remind me
the hell are you talking about?
what year is it, Brian?
2015 or 16.
Okay.
Mhm.
Cell phones. You got cell phones?
Um, so Kozak just kind of points to Dr. Hua He took mine.
Excellent. You got a cell phone, Campbell? Or not Campbell. What's her name? I'm sorry.
No, Campbell. It's Dr. Campbell.
Campbell. You got a cell phone?
I'm not giving you anything until you tell me what the hell's
I'm
going
going to
on.
ask you one more time. Do you have a cell phone?
At this point, the door to the lab here opens, and Mr. Kozak is standing there, and he says, "What's all the yell? Oh my God!" And he slams the door again.
That's why I need some. I've got this. I need some help.
I go, let's try this again, round 2.
Okay. All right. So you're inside here. He's running over. The IT specialist is actually looking up from her computer, and he's like, "Oh my God, the energy people are out there and they have guns." Overstating the situation a little bit, but you know.
Yeah. Realizing I'm not good with guns,
Mm-hmm.
I said, wait, no. Dr. Takagawa's very sick. We're trying to contain of what's going on. There's something wrong with Dr. Takagawa. Please hold on. We're trying to get the situation under control.
Why do you need guns for that?
We work for the government. We have guns no matter what,
We're here to help.
and we're here to help. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. And they don't look very comfortable with this situation, but I mean, these are obviously not combatants any more than you are. So they're just kind of standing there like waiting to see what happens.
I said, look, we're talking with Dr. Campbell now. It's we're trying to get the situation under control. Just bear with me. I'm sorry. You know, my gun came out and it shouldn't have. I'm sorry. I don't have it. Look, I have no gun on me. I'm just here. We're trying to control the situation. Please just hold on.
Make me a persuade roll, please.
God, please let me be better at that. Son of a bitch.
The hell are you good at?
I don't know. Nuclear physics.
Engineering.
Well, there's a good chance you're
Science,
blowing this
all that
place up,
stuff.
so I'm glad you know nuclear physics.
All that stuff.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
And they both
And
kind
crafting.
of yeah, there you go. So they both kind of exchange looks. And then Kozak bolts for this door. She just kind of looks at him. She's like that. Frankly, never occurred to her. Meanwhile, back in Campbell's office, so you told him to go running out that way. When you looked away for a second, she basically grabs. She has a wireless keyboard on her desk, and she just picks it up and throws it at you
Okay.
when you're not looking. Let me see. I don't know if I even have anything like combat stats for her, but I'll make something up. We'll call that a dex roll. Okay, so basically, you just sort of shift a little bit, and it slams into the wall next to the door. And then she ducks under her desk.
Okay. I'm going to flip the desk so I can get to her.
Okay, give me a strength roll.
It's a really heavy desk.
It is. That's all oak.
So I'm going to put the gun on her and just go, look, you're making this a lot more complicated than it needs to be. That was a perfectly good keyboard you just threw.
You're threatening me with a deadly weapon.
That is that is a great assessment of the situation, ma'am. That is a great assessment. And the easiest way for this to resolve is for you to give me your goddamn cell phone.
Give me a persuade at plus 20.
Brian, don't make me hurt this person, please.
I'm not making you do anything.
Oh, you
Greg.
are. You are.
I'm describing the situation.
You're being very aggressive, Brian.
I'm not the one with the gun. And she kind of stares
for her to pull a gun on me.
Stares at you for a long minute. I mean, she's clearly furious, but she's not suicidal. So she reaches very slowly into her jacket pocket and pulls out a cell phone and hands it to you.
Okay. He hands it to me, and I say, "I appreciate it. Now, here's what's key. For the next couple hours, nobody's leaving this building. Nobody's calling nobody out of this building." And to kind of like demonstrate the situation, I take her cell phone and break it in front of her. So it's not just like a,
Mhm.
hey, we're containing. It's just like it's threatening, right?
Okay, yeah, no, I get that, I get
Yeah,
that.
and we're we're,
She's
we're all
she's even more furious, but
yeah.
also not gonna do anything.
So we're gonna have a little sleepover tonight until we figure out what's going on with your friend with the blue eyes and the blue spit.
What? What are you talking about?
You've got a situation here, and it's a medical situation, and it must be contained. And I am under authorization from the Department of Energy to contain the situation. And I will go to any means necessary to do that because it's better for all of us dozen or so to die than for this thing to spread out into the wild. Do you understand me? Now, it might turn out it's nothing, but until we know it's nothing, it's something.
She kinda nods. You're not sure she's buying what you're selling, but she nods. Um, so back out in the atrium, what is our team here doing?
Um, I'm looking at that laser.
Mhm.
Uh, how is it powered?
Um, it looks like it has a dedicated, not outlet, I guess, but there's like some kind of dedicated series of transformers and boxes. It looks like it has its own power line coming into the building and directly into the system.
Okay, I want to look and see where would be the safest for me place to cut this uh along this line.
Well, I mean, outside it's underground.
Mm-hmm.
So you would kind of have to do it somewhere inside here,
Yeah.
probably either right at the point where it connects to the main laser system or right at the wall. The wall is probably safer because it's
Yeah.
concrete. Nothing's
Yeah.
going to catch fire.
Well, I'm more concerned with on which side of the transformers I am doing this. So
Yes. Your character knows a lot more about electrical systems than me, the player, the
yeah,
judge, does. So you find the safe place to make that cut.
that was what I was
It's
hoping for
downwind.
as an answer.
Yes.
Uh the there doesn't happen to be a fire axe handily on the wall, does it?
Not that you see, no.
Damn. Um, okay, then I will cut this wire right there.
With
My tools.
That's
I
right.
have
You
I
do
have
have.
my electronics tool, my
Mhm.
computer
It's
electronics.
it's going to be a little slow, but you can do it.
That's fine.
Um, so I would like
I
you
mean,
to
I can
go.
shoot it, I suppose, but
Yeah, I mean this is a
there's
pretty
been
good
enough of
sized
that.
cable. Yeah, it's gonna take a little time to cut it. It's not like just a
It's
quick
fine.
snip.
Yeah.
Um, but just go ahead and make me, what is it, like craft electronics? I think you have.
Yep.
Okay,
Not
so
one to
roll.
fail.
Thanks, Greg. Just any little pressure you need to apply. I hate you so much.
Failures are the most interesting things.
I have an 80,
Oh,
Craig. Thank you very much.
oh no.
All right. So there is a small you're most of the way through it and you're just about done to the other side and your concentration slips for just a second and you cross a couple wires. So you are going to take 3 points of damage as you sort of jerk back.
I thought it was
Um,
gonna be much worse than
yeah. It probably should have been, but you guys have screwed enough things up tonight that I'm not going to make it any worse for you here. Yeah, so you sort of jerk it around, but it is
Yeah,
almost entirely severed at this point. You could probably just kick the rest of it loose from a distance, but
I do.
so that hurts. But yes, you got it. And
Yeah.
the power
Son of a.
on the laser and the computer screen and the lights in here all go down.
Is that
Well,
the
that should
power
at
for
least.
everything? I say
Uh,
Well,
this to him, to
for the
Porter.
array.
well, it looks like it's the power certainly for everything in this building.
Yeah.
Hmm. I hope this door's not electric. And I thought you thought about that, right? The security lock.
if it's electric, it couldn't be locked, right? But I'm sure you can open it. Give it a try. This should at least attract some attention.
Go ahead and try to open the door and make sure it's not like a security lock.
Yeah, it opens. You
Okay.
can get out from
Okay.
inside easily enough. Yeah, it
Yeah.
opens easily. Make me an alertness roll.
Both of us are just
He's in the doorway, so
okay.
Okay.
or she's in the doorway, I should say.
Nope, don't see it.
All right,
Oh
cool.
my god.
We're about to get
Yeah.
something bad happen.
You do, however, hear what sounds like distant sirens.
Yeah, that's to be expected. I knew that was coming.
Are those sirens? No.
Yeah, I told you that we had a time limit. That's it.
And then you hear "Freeze! On your knees now!" from somewhere about maybe 20 feet outside this building.
Gonzalez, I assume that's you. I put my hands up.
Okay. Get down.
I
Anyone in there
try
with
to
you
hide
doing
inside,
that?
pulling
Okay.
my gun out. Finally,
Okay, sure. There's probably a die roll for that. I'm assuming stealth.
I was just hoping it was get some pluses because
I mean,
'Cause it's
yeah. To be
it's-
fair, you're in the building and he can't see you from where
Yeah.
he is. This is more a question of how well are you hidden if he comes in and looks. I'll give you
Okay.
plus 20%.
great. That gives me an awesome.
That triples
chance.
your odds, I think.
Yep.
This is not your area of expertise.
There's nowhere to hide in this building. It
Yeah, I
wasn't
mean,
built
it's like
that.
there's one big laser and that, but it's dark in here, so you're probably
one big
fine.
broken laser now.
All right. So are you doing what?
Yeah,
are you
I'm
going down?
complying, trying to assess like how far they are, like how much, because the less distance there is between us, the more likely I could react to him. But if he's farther away, I can't do shit because he just has a shot.
Yeah,
at
he's
me.
probably about 20 feet away at this point.
Okay, so I just comply, as at this point I don't really have a option besides get shot.
Okay. And Gonzalez kind of raises his voice. Says, "Anybody else in there? Come at now." I'm guessing you don't do anything.
You are correct. I'm just gonna wait,
Okay.
even if he has to take her away.
Okay. Well, he looks like he's right now just kind of standing there and keeping his gun trained on the one person he can see. Dr. Hua, would you like to
Yes.
do another chase and tackle?
They've been so successful so far.
He got one.
Apparently, on my other hip, I have a stun gun. I just saw in my damn inventory.
Yeah, it's a taser. It's like a melee, not a dart taser, a handheld.
Would that incapacitate someone for a period of time? As I'm
It would certainly stun
rounding
them long enough that you could cuff them or otherwise subdue them.
I'm gonna round the corner and stun the lady at the laptop while I'm chasing the other guy.
All right, so he's heading off this way, running through the
Just
kitchen.
gonna kind
You're
of
gonna
go
come
and
down here. All right, go ahead and give me an attack roll with a taser.
How do I do that?
It should be. I think it's just considered an unarmed combat attack, so you can just roll that.
Gotcha.
Or you can roll. There's a stunner. If you scroll down to the equipment section, there's a row for the stunner, and the button at the far end will let you. Roll.
Oh, gotcha.
Come on, Doc.
Did it go?
I haven't gotten anything yet. No, just make an unarmed combat check. It'll be fine.
Okay, I just had it popped out. Unarmed check.
Okay. All right, so
I totally missed. Just kind of.
Yeah, she just kind of dives under the table.
Okay.
You do hear as all this is going on, Dee is like, the atrium has lost power. Primary array systems are down.
Is that throughout the whole building?
Yes.
Just in that room.
No, it actually, no, it would also be in Campbell's office, so you hear that as well. She says, "What have you done?"
What does that mean? When she says that, what does it mean?
It means we've lost goddamn power in the array. The whole facility's useless now.
I'm a huge fan of useless. You walk out of this room, you are no longer contained. And I can't be responsible if you walk out of this room. Do you understand?
I hear what you're saying.
Perfect. I'm trying to figure out where the dock is.
Okay, so you're going out of this room? You're
I'm
going
going
the
out of this
office?
room. I guess the last I saw, they were headed towards the
Yep, so
computer room.
all right, I'm guessing, what do you close the door with those two?
I do. I close the door.
Okay,
I'm
all right.
getting the feeling that I've scared her enough. I'm hoping at least. And we'll see. I made it.
Okay.
I told Porter to cut all landlines out, and I've got her cell phone, so I'm crossing my
Mhm.
fingers here.
All right. Well, I just realized we've been going for quite a while now, so why don't we take a brief break, get everybody a chance to plan some actions and do some bio breaks, and we'll catch you in a few.
Great. We'll be
Beauty.
back in 10 minutes.
All right.
All right.
right, we are back, Brian.
All right. So, when last we left our heroes, you were scattered all over the place doing things. Um, Dr. Hua has failed to incapacitate any of the folks he's been chasing after. Remy has currently got Kozak and Campbell cowed and shut in their office. Um, Agent Agent Garnett is currently on the ground being held at gunpoint by one of the hired security guards, and Agent Porter is hiding in the powerless atrium, waiting for the people with the guns to go away. There are sirens incoming. Life is getting interesting. Um, and because life continues to get interesting, because that's how Delta Green works, I would like all of you to make me a power roll, please.
Ugh. Take it all away, then make us make a roll.
Oh, I get that one.
Oh, it's a power roll, though.
Yes.
To be fair, I did succeed against that cell phone.
hmm John,
Of
you don't notice anything unusual at all.
course not. Not in here in the dark.
The rest of you have that sensation that some of you have had before.
This
That
will be Remy's
something.
first time.
Oh yes. So it's something you've shut the door and you're kind of putting the gun down and trying to figure out where you're going to go to next. Try and find Dr. Hua, and all of a sudden it's like there's no visual sign of it, but it almost feels like the room is kind of being pushed in from outside. Like something like there's an enormous high pressure outside that's just kind of compressing everything around you. And it feels like something from outside the building, outside the planet, outside the dimension, something from way outside is trying to push its way in. And you feel like whatever it is, the fact that you know it's doing it is giving it more strength to push its way in. So each of you who succeeded at that roll can make me a D4 roll and lose that much willpower and the same amount of sanity.
Oh, finally failed the right roll.
Okay, 4. What?
So I
did that
dropped
wrong.
I dropped the
No,
4
just one D4 is fine.
for my POW score, not the
Yes.
percentage. Okay.
No, sorry. That is how many willpower points you lose, not from the POW score.
Welcome to the
There's
game,
Oh,
boys.
right. Okay.
right, and that many sanity. For reference, has anybody reached their breaking point in the sanity department?
How do we figure that out?
That is going to be on your character sheet under the main statistics, right under sanity. It lists your breaking point. If you've gotten to that level or lower, let me know.
I'm one away. I'm good.
Okay, John. All right. So,
I'm one under it.
okay, well that's fine. The good news is you get to have a new breaking point.
Well,
Uh,
that's good. Let's
but
make it 10.
no, that's not how this works. But what you do have is you have what's called a disorder. Um, what I would say seems appropriate here. Um, I feel like a little bit of paranoia is appropriate here because there's people out there with guns. You've got other people on this team that you haven't worked before, and they've been talking about each other. They don't quite trust each other. Honestly, you're probably the only one that really is in a position to fix the situation, and you don't know who are the others you can trust, if any. So your new breaking point is your current sanity minus your power score. So if we look at that for you, I
That'd be
believe.
45.
All right, so you got plenty of room to work with now.
Yeah.
Okay. Let us deal with Dr. Hua. So you basically thrust your taser at the IT woman, Ms. Tsang, who just kind of fell off her chair, rolling away from you. You can see Dr. Kozak or Mr. Kozak in the kitchen, booking his way towards the front door. What would you like to do?
As I'm rounding that corner, still chasing after Kozak,
Mhm.
I'm going to yell, Remy, need help! And that's all I'm going to say as I'm running out that
Okay.
into
I'm
the
not going to
kitchen.
make you roll for that, Craig. You certainly hear that. You're right up in here. This door is probably still open. So you're running after him. You can give me another unarmed combat roll if you like before he gets it. He's not particularly athletic either. So holy cow,
Yes, Nick,
you caught him. All right. So what are you trying to do? Are you pinning him? Are you knocking him out? What is the
Pinning
objective?
him.
All right.
Yeah,
So you've
I
got
need
to
him.
grab him just as he's up at this wall and kind of slam him up against the wall. And he is at least temporarily struggling against you, not very effectively. He's not an imposing physical specimen. Remy, you come into this room here and you can see her getting up from behind the desk, kind of crouching and looking over the desk, as though there were a lot of violence going on here recently.
What? And remind me her name. I'm sorry.
That is Ms. Tsang.
I come in and go, Miss Sang, where'd they go?
And she just kind of points to the side door here.
And hopefully between when I was in there before and right now, I want to see if there's
Mhm.
any phones, wall phones, desk phones.
I don't see. Do we have a? There is a landline phone on the wall right next to where you are.
Okay, I rip it off. I rip it off.
Done.
So I rip it off. I come over to her
Mhm.
and I say, my job is to keep you safe. Part of me keeping you safe is I need your cell phone.
Okay, give me a persuade roll at plus 20.
Because gun.
Because gun and recent display of violence.
All right. Where is my persuade? Plus 20.
So she kind of stares at you goggle-eyed for a minute and then just hands you her phone.
Okay. Take her phone and put it in my pants.
Mhm.
And say, it is critical you stay right here in order for you to be safe. I don't want you typing on nothing. I don't want you messing with nothing. And is her laptop still there?
Yeah.
I'm going to grab it. And if it's attached to anything, it's coming with me. So whatever wires, power, or anything, I'm just grabbing it, slamming it shut and grabbing it.
Okay.
And then headed to where she pointed.
All right. So you yank the power supply free and it's all wired and you plug that out and you got her laptop. She looks like that is the thing she is most likely to object to, but she doesn't.
Okay.
She clearly is about to say something, but she stops. All right, so you can go in here when you can see sort of a slap fight going on between Mr. Kozak and Dr. Hua. Dr. Hua has the advantage. He's kind of pushed up against the wall, and there's a lot of squirming arms and grabbing here and grabbing here, but he seems to have him pretty well pinned for the moment.
Yeah, and any corner, like a corner of a table or anything, I'm smashing the laptop.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm
Mhm.
going Dr. Kozak. Dr. Kozak.
Mister.
Yep. You stay laying down right there for me. Dr. Wah. We're okay. You can stand up.
Okay, they were actually like vertically up against the wall.
Oh, okay.
So I had it. But yeah.
Dr. Wah,
Mhm.
let's give him a little bit of breathing room then.
Easily
All
step
right.
up.
He kind of
Okay. So
straightens his shirt.
Dr. Kozak, here's the
Mister,
situation.
it's Mr. Kozak. I don't
Okay.
have a PhD, okay?
Mr. Kozak, I'm sorry. Now, I need you to listen to me very carefully. Your friend, he is not well. It is not clear what he has, but we need to contain this building and nobody can leave and we don't want anybody coming in. That's the only thing we care about right now. Everything else is fine. It's perfectly fine. So I need to know, do you have a cell phone?
And he again points at Dr. Hua. He says he took it.
Okay. I keep forgetting that.
Look, a lot's been going on in the last few minutes.
I say, all right.
That's the one thing I did win.
Okay. So Dr. Wall, will you do me a favor? Let's bring him back into the computer room. Let's get everybody settled and calm down. Let's just make sure everything is okay. Um, and Dr. Kozak, you got to understand that we just want to keep everybody safe. You understand that?
Give me a persuade roll. I'm not going to give you the plus 20 for this because this is not getting him to comply. This is getting
Yeah.
him to believe you. He can tell that you're very serious about what you're saying, so he just kind of goes, "Okay."
We're on the same side here. We just want to keep everybody safe.
He kind of rubs his bruised arm and just sort of nods.
So your HAL 3000 here has been telling us that the array doesn't have no power anymore.
I heard that.
Okay. How would that happen and where would it happen?
I mean, it's not the outage because we still have power here. Somebody must have cut the power.
That's exactly what I needed to know. Dr. Wah, will you get them comfortable?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I'm going to start hauling ass towards.
All right. So you guys are so you're coming back in here to kind of watch them. Is that what I'm hearing, Dr. Hua, back in the lab?
Yeah, we'll get them all
Okay.
in the lab.
Oh, okay. And just to be clear, you no longer have a gun.
No, I do not.
Okay. Just
I have a stun gun.
just making sure we're
Ready.
keeping that straight. Okay, sure. Yep. You're poised with it. All right. So you get them presumably away from like computer and so just kind of keeping an eye on them. And Craig, you're heading out across the lawn towards
On
the
my way
atrium
out,
buildings.
want to make sure Campbell's door is still closed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Then headed that way. And Craig the player knows
Um,
what he's going to see, but
Sure. Make me
Remy
an
doesn't.
awareness roll.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Alertness.
Alertness. Sorry.
That's all right.
So much terminology.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Cool. So you're basically coming along here, and just as you're kind of headed out the front door, right about as you get here, you just kind of hear the sound of a door opening behind you.
Okay. Stop. Turn.
Okay. All right. So you see someone is going into the office where Dr. Takagawa was.
And do I know who that somebody
You
is?
do, and it looks like a female figure that you have not seen before.
Ma'am?
It's not Dr. Campbell. Okay.
Ma'am.
She turns to you, and you've seen enough pictures here and in your research on the way that you kind of recognize this as Dr. Klinger,
Okay.
the researcher you hadn't seen before yet. But she doesn't look well. Her eyes are flat white, not even, like cataract blindness, but just sheer solid white. Um, she looks considerably older than the pictures you've seen of her. She's got bags under her eyes and something. She just looks and she says, "Who are you? You weren't here when we did it."
That's 100% correct. I wasn't. You know what? We've got a super comfy couch in there. Why don't you head on in? I'm right behind you.
Who are you?
I'm here to save you.
And I'm guessing you're edging a little bit closer.
Yep.
You can actually see it looks like she's been crying,
Okay.
and she says, "Have you seen it?"
I have not seen it. What should I be looking for?
And she just kind of shakes her head, and It's fine. You'll see it eventually.
Okay, can you see
And
me,
she
ma'am?
goes inside.
All right. Uh,
Yes. She
okay.
she just kind of goes in the door, leaves the door open,
I'm
behind
I'm
her.
gonna come right back in there.
Hmm.
Make sure there's a chair for her to sit in.
Hmm.
I'm gonna say, ma'am, we're gonna get this. Everything's gonna be okay. But I need you to stay in this room in order for me to keep you and everybody else safe. Do you understand that?
Gonna keep us safe.
This is not good.
Oh shit.
Ma'am, can you stay in this room for me?
Sure, sure. I'll stay here.
Perfect. I'm gonna go to slam. Is there? I assume it locks from the inside, right?
Yeah.
Um, there's really no way for me to stop this, like to lock them in.
I mean, there's like the kitchen chair you could maybe wedge under the doorknob that would at least slow them down. But
Yeah, I'm just gonna close the door and just hope to God that they stay in there, and then I'm gonna head back out towards the array.
okay. Meanwhile, back outside at the atrium building, um, Agent Garnet is it's been very quiet. I mean, you can sort of see that Gonzalez is still there, and he's edged a little bit closer. He's still about 15 feet away from you. Still has the gun out. Very professional trained stance. Um, and he says, "Where's the rest of your crew?"
I don't know. They've scattered. I thought most of them are in the building, the primary building, your offices. I mean, you have the cameras. You should know that.
What are you trying to do here?
We're just trying to make sure that this place is contained
From what?
from outside influence and interference.
Do
Look,
you
we're
know
not
what?
the enemies here.
Do you know
We're
what
not
happened
here.
to Officer Henson?
Yes, I'm aware of what happened.
What happened?
I had to stop her from calling outside help. Unfortunately, she was able to get hold of them, and we're going to get more people killed because of that.
Nice.
Make me a persuade roll if you would. You hear him quietly curse to himself, and then we'll see if that's because he believes you or for other reasons. Okay. You are you've been in situations like this before doing like negotiations, and you're just been very simple, direct, straightforward. And he says, what are we trying to keep these people from? I may be able to hold them off if you need them outside the facility. What's going on?
We have one of your staff is suffering some kind of weird effects. Like we have somebody with us that has some training in that. He went to go look at it. He's trying to keep everybody contained to make sure we don't know what it is. But we're trying to make sure it doesn't spread,
So this
whatever it
is
is.
this is a disease thing, a quarantine
I
thing?
don't I can't verify that. I don't know for certain. I have not spoke with him and he is the expert.
Andy's handsome.
And he's very
um he says, "All right. I want you to stay here."
I will stay here.
And he takes off running back towards the main building.
And I go over to the door. It's
Well,
like, you're good to come out.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I was listening. Good. That was a nice speech. Nice job. We need to go turn this computer off.
Yeah, we do. So how about you do that while I keep an eye over here to make sure he doesn't do anything stupid by seeing me not here.
All right. I head to the main building.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to use the back door over here. Is that some
Okay.
possibility?
Sure. That's probably one of the nearest ones to where you
Yeah.
are.
Okay.
Mhm. Okay. So, Craig, as Remy is headed back towards the atrium, you see Agent Porter coming back this way. Um, Actually, you see both Agent Porter and Officer Gonzalez coming back this way. you see Gonzalez first. He's
Right.
kind of coming towards you, and as he sees you, he has his gun out, but again, not kind of pointed at you. And he says, "Are you the medical guy?
I am the medical guy, Gonzalez. I'm really happy to see you. We got a situation here, and I'm going to need your help.
What's going on?"
So we got two of the doctors. They ain't well. Something's wrong with them. It's something I'm not very familiar with. I've made some phone calls. We got the right people coming, for consultation. What's key here is it has to stay here, which means everybody here has to stay here, which means everybody not here can't be here. Am I making any sense to you right now?
Give me a persuade at +20 because you were set up nicely by Agent Garnet. Okay, he says. So I can probably hold him at the front door. You said you've got people coming?
I got people coming, but they don't have sirens. So whatever that siren is, those people cannot come here. And you have to explain to them that we have a potentially pandemic level situation here. And if they love their families, they love their wives, they love their husbands, and they love their kids, they need to stay out of here.
All right. How will I know when your people are here?
One of us will come out and we'll give you the all clear. Look, here's the situation. It's probably nothing. It's always nothing. But until we know it's nothing, it's still something. So until then, we're fine. All right. But as soon as I know it's okay, which will be very, very soon, I will come out there. One of us will come out there. We'll give you the all clear. And that's
Mhm.
exactly what's going to happen. We are overreacting right now, but we have to. Do you understand me?
Yeah, he nods, and you feel like he's like now he's immediately on your team. He wants to stop whatever's going on from happening. He's
Beautiful.
totally bought into this. So
Beautiful.
he kind of nods and he takes off towards the front gate now.
And if I see
You
Porter, I'm going to head directly towards Porter.
Yeah, he's coming at this way. You saw this conversation.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know if you waited or if you went around
I
or
I would have tried to avoid being seen
okay.
by
Well then
by
give me a stealth roll.
Rodriguez. By Rodriguez, yeah,
Gonzalez,
okay.
Gonzalez. Yeah.
Gonzalez, sorry.
would you
I'll
have?
give you a +20 on that since he was kind of looking the other way. Okay. You're not especially quiet. You're a little on edge right now.
Mhm.
So basically he sort of looks over, he sees you, he sort of looks back at Remy for a second and just keeps going.
Okay. I give him a little wave once I realize
Mhm.
he's seen me.
Okay. All right. So now you
All right.
two are together back here.
All right, listen up, Porter. We got two of them sick in there now. One of them ain't got no irises. One of them's got blue spit and blue eyes. I've taken care of some of the phones, but not all the phones. Did you take care of the security hut?
The You can't make a call at the security hut. Every other
Okay,
phone is still
all right,
active, I assume.
that's beautiful. Are you responsible for there being no lights out there?
Yes.
That's good work. Where's Garnet?
Uh, she's still hanging back there. I think she was gonna check on that security guard, make sure she talked to him already to try to convince him and let him know what was going on. We need to turn this computer off.
I could not agree more. Is that where you're heading?
That is.
So I'm going to
Um,
head towards Garnet.
All right.
I kind of imagine the young lady is a bit attached to this computer, so she might not be too thrilled by this.
Well, I've taken care of her laptop, so she ain't going to put up a fight.
That might have the opposite effect than you believe.
It's a good thing you got the big brain, buddy.
Mm.
Do your
All
thing.
right. All right. So Remy's heading out to the atrium and you're heading back into the lab.
I'm going into the lab. Yes.
Right. Okay. Cool. So we regroup everybody here. Um, so inside the lab, Dr. Hua, you've been dealing with these two people. Kozak is just kind of gone into a little bit of a funk. You know, he's just kind of sitting at the table, kind of staring at his hands. Um, you know, humming that weird little atonal melody to himself, but seems a little bit out of sorts with the whole thing. Um, whereas Ms. Sang is just like, um, she's like, what's going on? Why did he take the laptop? What's happening here? Is somebody sick?
Send it to me.
No, to
Okay.
Dr. Hua.
We don't know that yet. We just need you to calm down and relax. I'm sorry the way things happen, but just relax for now. Hold tight until we get some help. And I start going through my bag. I'm going to look for that dosimeter Geiger counter,
Okay.
and I want to turn
You
it
have
on,
it?
see if it starts. Do I get any readings off that right
Nope.
now?
Seems pretty standard in here.
Okay. And I'm just going to leave it at that. That's I want to. No, I'll stay put. I'll stay put.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right, back out at the atrium. Remy, you are able to catch up with Agent Garnet, unless Agent Garnet has snuck off somewhere else and is doing something I don't know about.
I was still there.
Okay, cool.
So, listen, Garnet, we got two sick ones in there now, and they got two different sets of things. One's got no eyeball. Well, they got eyeballs, but that's all they got. They don't got no irises or nothing. Blue Spit Boy, he's asleep right now.
Wait,
We got your-
whoa. Blue spit? What?
So we got one guy whose eyes have got some blue energy electric thing coming on in his mouth. He's got some sort of blue, like he's gonna die. All right. And either that's gonna kill him or I'm going to. And then we've got another lady who I haven't met yet. She's got no eyeballs. She ain't making it out of here either. Porter, from my understanding, you guys turn off the power here, which I
Yeah.
think is wonderful. Porter's going to go take care of HAL 3000. We're going to get that taken care of. And the sirens, I think we got Gonzalez taking care of the sirens. No offense to him, but I would feel much better if either, and I'm happy to do it, but I don't, they cannot come in here. Do you understand me?
I will go to the front because the security guy was expecting me not to go anywhere anyways. So I'll go meet him out front and assist to make sure they don't come in. Did you feel anything weird there for a second?
Yeah. Like my head's getting a little bit smaller and everything's coming in on me.
Yeah, that's not good. And that happened after we killed the power. So that makes me think
What do you mean it happened after you killed the power? I don't understand what that means.
when we cut the power to the array,
Okay.
the laser turned off. That's when it screamed out. So I have a
Whoa. It what? Because I didn't hear no
when
screaming.
that feeling that originally when earlier in the day I screamed. Like I had a pause and a scream. That was like before we came here. It felt that same way. That I felt that feeling again.
So
I don't.
all right. So all right,
Yes.
we felt it. We felt it when we were all separate and screaming,
Yes.
right? Because we figured that out. It was a little bit similar, and then we just felt it again, and it was tied to you cutting the power.
It seemed like it was tied to that, which makes me think we're on the wrong track.
I was thinking the exact opposite. I feel like we're on the right track.
I don't know, but I have a feeling that things are gonna go bad very quickly. But
we're
turning off that computer needs to happen probably regardless.
Craig, we lost your audio.
one of us needs to go. I completely agree with you. One of us needs to go to the lab. One of us needs to make sure Gonzalez is competent. You tell me which one you want to do.
I'll take care of the front gates.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to go to the lab, and we're going to make sure that the computer's down.
Yeah.
All right. So you're heading towards the lab. You're heading off to the front gates. Got it. Meanwhile, in the lab, right. Porter, you get to the back door and open it up, and everyone kind of looks over in that direction. You can see that the two staff in here seem to be at least stationary and not actively fighting anything. And Dr. Hua is there, of course.
And the people in here are. Is it?
Oh my
Sorry,
god!
no, she's
Leave
not
that
that
up so I
big.
can.
It,
No.
it's Tang.
You make that big
and-
again because I want to show it to the audience.
Holy hell.
Yeah.
Not her. She
It's
is
fine.
not in here.
No, it's fine. She's fine. Everything's fine.
Who is the other? Who is the other person in here? The guy.
In here,
Yeah, who is
that is Kozak.
Okay, so that's the engineer and the IT specialist. Okay, great.
Yep.
All right. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Miss Sang, I need to speak to you for a second.
And she kind of looks over to Dr. Hua and like, is that okay?
I
Yes.
walk into the room, to
All
the
right, and
middle of the room.
she
So,
comes over.
yeah.
Yeah.
We have a situation.
Yeah, I can tell.
Um, it would be best, I think, if D is turned off.
Oh no, we can't do that.
Why not?
That she's the whole reason why we're here.
I know you
She's
can, but you can turn her back on, right?
sure, but why would we what does she have to do with any of this? I thought this was like a disease thing.
Well, yeah, but I don't know why it happened. But your computer's really secret, right?
I mean, it's classified, yeah.
Right. And soon a bunch of people are going to be in here. I mean, once this whole disease thing, which nobody ever told me about, is over, uh, uh, then you're gonna, do you really want just, Joe Random Cop to be looking through your computer and stuff?
Nobody likes Joe Random Cop.
That's true. He's the worst. I'd like you to give me a persuade roll at -20 because she really loves this computer.
So what's the lowest you can
You can
actually have?
always roll an O1.
Do it. Do it.
Well, that would be what I get. Let's see. Persuade. I was hoping I might get something by being cool and charming, but
I mean, you are cool and charming. You're just not
And
very
handsome.
persuasive.
It's not a
uh,
0-1.
I got a
Uh,
59 on my 0% or my
all right.
1%
Well,
chance.
she's just like, no. The security stuff are protected, and the cops won't be able to get in there. It's fine.
What security stuff?
Well, all of the important stuff is encrypted and password protected. They won't be able to get in there.
Say
Oh,
McAfee,
okay.
you coward.
So, so is D's power connected to the same power that surged earlier today?
Yeah, she was offline when that happened.
Okay. Where does that power come from?
She kind of gestures at a UPS on the next to the rack of computers,
Okay.
which is plugged into the wall.
Okay. I walk over there.
Hmm.
Now this is just like a battery backup, or is it a
Yeah, it's a battery backup. I mean, it's getting so that actually, now that I think about it, when the power went out, she said, yeah, she was running on backup power earlier,
okay,
so she would not have gone down.
okay. All right. So I just still can't believe she's all contained in this one space.
Yeah, she's real efficient.
Can I see inside? I just
I
want to see what the
mean,
cops are going to see if they open a
it's
door or something.
it's classified, so you shouldn't. But I mean,
Come on.
I can't stop you.
Okay. So I go over and open the. Does it have like? Do I have to use a screwdriver to open the door? Do I have
No,
to?
it's got a. I mean, it's got a lockable, cabinet thing. It is actually locked, but the keys are literally hanging on a hook next to the
Okay.
lock.
So I'll
So you
open
just
it.
chink and open it up, and you open it up, and it looks like a fairly standard computer rack. You've got hard drive unit, hard drive unit, hard drive unit, that kind of thing. And as you're first looking at it, it's like, all right, this all looks pretty ordinary.
I get
And
out
then
my little
yeah,
flashlight and
well,
start
it's
looking.
like, as you're looking around, there's, just as you're pulling that flashlight out before you even let it up, you can see there are some lights kind of in back of where those racks are that there probably shouldn't be. And you sort of, shine your light and get an angle. Some of them, they're not all the racks are full. Some of them are just like the little face plates on there. So you
Hmm.
pull one of those off, and what you see is in the middle of the rack is this thing. It's about, I don't know, 60 centimeters tall, sort of a cylinder. Looks like it's made of some kind of black metal, but it has these sort of veins running through it like marble of this gray substance, and there are like Ethernet cables and USB cables and things plugged into those veins. There's not any ports or anything. They're just kind of shoved in there. And
Hmm.
you've seen a lot of very expensive and high-tech computer equipment. This does not look like
With a lot less
anything you've
veins.
seen before.
Miss Sang,
Yeah?
i- have you ever looked in here?
Well, sure. I'm IT.
What is that thing?
That's D. That's the CPU.
How do those things plug in?
Just kind of.
You're very close to D, aren't you?
I mean, yeah. I work with her every day.
Okay. Would you go sit down over there on the other side of that counter?
Make me a persuade roll.
At 0 again?
No. You get your regular percentage here.
Ooh, at 20.
Look at you go. All right.
Yes. I only failed that one by 14.
She says, "What are you gonna do?"
You don't need to know.
Yes, I do. What are you gonna do?
I'm the only one here that can save D.
Nice.
If you had rolled a little better on that persuade check, that might have worked.
But I am so paranoid. I believe it, Brian.
Yes, I know you do. I know you do. Mhm. She starts walking towards you. She says, "Get away from her."
I reach behind me and pull out my gun.
Okay. She
I
stops.
just hold it down to my
Sh-
side.
Okay. She stops. She says, "You can't do this."
I can do it gently, or I can do it more forcefully. You really care for D?
I've reinterpreted the signals with greater accuracy. Would you like to review them and tell me if they're clearer?
No. D, you need to shut down for maintenance for 10 minutes.
You're not cleared for that process.
I just look at Miss Tang.
What are you going to do to her?
Just very carefully and gently turn her off, where she can be turned on again later.
Make me an awareness check, John.
Oh,
An awareness check. Didn't see
nope.
that coming.
D.
Or alertness, whichever one it is in the system. Alertness.
Well, guess what? It is also the same as all my skills.
You have one
20%.
job on this ship. Given the angle you're at, I'll let Dr. Hua make that one as well.
Thank you. Please make this. Please make this. Please make this.
How aware is Dr. Wah?
Probably
not any
especially.
better.
But
No.
it,
But there's a shot in hell. A fumble?
Oh, and a
Yeah.
fumble.
Mm-hmm.
oh, at 88.
Yes. Doubles on a failure. Okay, cool.
So you're looking out the front window. Great.
Yeah, I just-
No, actually what happens is you're
He's
kind
playing like Jewel on his.
But
no, it's
Jules-
like you're sort of watching this whole thing play out in the corner here. And everyone is so focused over here that no one notices Mr. Kozak slipping out the door over here.
this mother.
So she knows what you're asking, but she just kind of shakes her head. No.
I point the gun at the computer and discharge it several times.
Okay.
Particularly trying to hit the big black tower in the middle.
Sure. She screams. The bullets go into the thing and it's like I said, it's kind of metallic, but you've got a 40 caliber gun at close range,
Mhm.
and the bullets sink into the thing, and sparks fly, and all the lights that were on it go out, and a large chunk of it has been shot off. It
Okay.
certainly appears to be offline now.
I gave you a choice. You
And
chose the other
she
option.
just sort of goes to her knees and starts crying.
I pull out anything, all the rest of the pieces, just slamming them with the gun, breaking
Yeah,
breaking things
it is
to pull.
clearly.
I'm just trying to get that big core piece out.
Yeah. It's not nearly as heavy as you would expect, that big middle piece.
Okay.
But yeah, you're able to break it apart.
I put it in
There's
my bag.
Okay. It doesn't look like, I mean, you're not sure what you were expecting from the parts inside.
Hmm.
There's nothing that looks like circuit boards. I mean, there's like a couple little sort of port things inside where the things are closed in, but everything else is just sort of this fibrous, slightly damp gray material. Yes, yes. In fact, why don't you go ahead and make me a sand roll? In fact, Doctor Hua can do that too. You know enough about computers that that ain't right.
Perfect.
Excellent. So each of you lose another 2 sanity just trying to figure out what's going on. It's not the weirdest thing you've seen today, but it's pretty weird. And it's probably at about this point that you notice that Mr. Kozak is gone.
Uh, where did the other guy go?
Where's Kozak?
You were watching him.
But you were the computer, and I turned down the only door behind me.
Hmm.
Do I have to do everything here myself?
Hey, I'm good at tackling cell phones. I'm gonna go through that kitchen and try to find Kozak.
Okay. So you kind of make your way out here, and you see him like as you're coming through the kitchen. You see him sort of standing in the front door. Looks like he's looking into the building. He hasn't run for the door. He's kind of stopped there.
Uh, is it in a peculiar way that would?
I mean, you can't really see him. You can see like the back half of his body. Um, but yeah, it looks like maybe he's on his tiptoes or something.
I'm gonna approach with caution. Kozak,
Okay.
Kozak, just
All right,
taking
so
a.
you make your way over here to an angle where you can see, and you can see why he's on his tiptoes now. Because a woman you don't recognize with these strange white blank eyes is just kind of she's got her hand up around his neck and shoulder. She's not like choking him or anything. She's just kind of got her arm here, and you can see this sort of blue black aura spreading across his skin, and as you get there, she sort of lets go and he just drops to the ground, and she looks at you and she says, "It's really better this way."
Oh my god.
And I think that's where we'll call it for this session.
All right, we'll jump to
Oh.
credits. We'll be back on the other side. We're back, Brian.
All righty. Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
For certain values of fun. So we're going to try and wrap this up pretty quickly. It's getting a little late than we like to run, but I do want to do what has become a Third Floor Wars tradition called Stars and Wishes. It's a great tool for GMs to get feedback and find out what their players are doing. And basically, I'm going to ask each person to give me like a star, which was a person and maybe a particular moment that that player or character did that really impressed them or that they really enjoyed. And then everybody also gets a wish, which is what they would like to see in the next session or see more of or what they're hoping for. So, Craig, you've done this a million times from the other side of the chair. Tell me what you think. Who's your
Yeah.
star
So
for
couple quick comments before then, because something we talked about during the break, which I loved, is what you're seeing here is, I think, what makes Delta Green unique. It makes it not Trail of Cthulhu, not Call of Cthulhu. It makes it a very unique game, which is this idea that our number one objective is not being alive. It's not figuring out a mystery. It is making sure whatever is happening here stays here. And Brian, you've evoked that feeling really well, and it's what has made me so excited about playing this. And seeing all of us doing that just makes me really happy because it's what makes Delta Green unique, I think. But stars for me is could not be easier, and it goes to John. Agent Porter has been believable through the whole thing. And John, you're doing something that I think is very hard to do, which is handling the instability that happens in these types of games. And I'm believing Agent Porter the whole way. So that was super easy for me to pick that for the star. And I think it inspires me, I know, to step up my game with playing my character. Wishes, for it not to end. But no, wishes for me, um, it's kind of the standard wishes, Brian, which is I'm very anxious to find out what's going to happen. And what's kind of cool too about this genre, and it's something I'm completely bought into, and it's why this genre is not for everybody. I really don't care what happens to our characters, right? What I care about is finding out what's going to happen. So I am very comfortable with play to lose, which is a little bit what this genre can do for us. Which is why for some people when they role play, this is not their favorite genre, right?
Yeah, particularly in a one-step situation like
Yeah,
this. I mean, this is not a game in which everyone should necessarily expect to survive or remain
exactly.
sane. I think Delta Green, and we talked about this a little in break as well, really shines in campaign play. We
I
can see
agree.
the impact of these things on the characters, but I'm still having a good time. Nick, how about you? Who's your star for the evening?
Yeah, I gotta say, John knocked it out of the park. Just those moments of that responsiveness in character that was like believable and on par. It was amazing to watch and see. So kudos to you, John.
Okay. And any wishes for next time? Better dice.
Uh,
A stat
yeah,
over 15.
yeah, yeah. No kidding. We need to get our experts in the areas where they're most utilized. I mean, the the scientist is running around chasing people, trying to tackle them. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we're trying, and we've had some success and good moments and
Mhm.
good fails, but I'd like to see some more utilization from him, and that's just me steering my character and putting him in the right place at the right time.
Okay.
But that's kind of my wish for next session.
All right, sounds good. Kyle, how about you?
So I'm just gonna sound like the broken record, but John has done a very great job. I love
We're
that
gonna need an
the
acceptance speech from John when
I
we get
know,
to
yeah,
I mean, I'm proud of this by proxy because I dragged John into this. So,
exactly.
well, this and so if I have my way, this is not the last time you see John on the channel. But go ahead, Kyle. I'm sorry.
But it's just having done some theater background stuff, just being able to hold the pauses, I think, is very powerful. I don't think a lot
Yeah.
of role players understand that there was silence there for like a good 5 seconds, but it was actually better for it as
Oh,
opposed to being worse. So I think well played on all parts for that.
yeah, Brian, you've done a great job of that as well.
well, thank you. I try. And then, Kyle, anything particular you want to see next time?
I kind of where Nick was going with that is like getting the right people in the right spots because it feels like your character is just out of place and just like, why are you tackling people? This is not what you're supposed to be doing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
All right, John, do you also think you were the best person tonight?
No. Uh, I mean, this is literally the first time I've ever played on the stream. But
It's not the first time you've streamed, though, John.
it's the first time I have streamed a role playing game.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, Brian and I do a stream every Friday, which is nothing like this, and
It's
has
Gloomhaven.
7 people watch.
Yes.
And so, but no, I've been playing role playing games
Right.
since the beginning of time. But this also sort of rolls into what I grew up playing, which was one shot games. So characters you can throw away at the end are always fun to play in a situation
I
like this.
agree.
I mean, I felt you guys all did great stuff. I really like Kyle. I really liked your moment with the security guard out there because I really thought while we were on break there that I was like, there's no way we're going to be able to get out of this without killing this guy.
Good call.
And I thought you did a masterful job of making that happen, of making a completely believable thing to convince him.
Yep,
So,
absolutely.
Thank you.
I do agree with you that some of us need to get into the right places, but I also want to say my wishes are, I want to say first of all, I think you guys did just a great job of playing the misses because so often in games like this you miss and Brian has also helped because
Yep.
he gives us options on the misses. He doesn't just make it, oh, the door's locked, you can't get in, too bad.
Yep.
There's always a way to fail forward.
So real quick, I'm sorry, Brian, but John, you role playing for the first time live on stream is interesting to me because you have such a rich history of role playing, right? So how different has it been for you, or is it different at first and then gets
Well,
familiar, or
well, the only thing that's different is this is the only thing that people other than the people on the screen are watching. Because I mean, when COVID hit, certainly we moved to this format.
right?
So I just pretend like it's just us. So
Yeah. So for you, it's not that different.
right.
It's interesting because it's sort of the opposite for me because I notice when I'm doing streaming games, I am audience aware more, and I'm sort of deliberately slowing down my pace and my presentation. So, but I mean, whatever you're doing, it's working.
Yeah.
Um,
All right, beautiful. So, real quick, tradition also on Third Floor Wars is the random question generator. So let me just see what it comes up. It says Kyle. Okay, so Kyle, the question that comes up is, if I enjoy miniature gaming and role playing, is there actually a podcast that covers both things?
Well, Craig, it's weird that you would ask me that question, but
Totally
I
random.
actually do have a podcast that kind of covers the gamut, and that is the Coyote's Den, which we talk about role playing games, we talk about tabletop games, and kind of just whatever is interesting me at the moment.
And how long have you been podcasting now, Kyle?
Too long, 5 years or so now.
And it shows. So you guys should check it out. Can we spell it out for them, Kyle, so they can make sure they find it right?
Yep. So it is KHYODEE. So Coyote and then Den, of course. And you can just find that on Podbean or most of the podcasting services should have it there.
All right, beautiful. So we definitely
Good
have
stuff.
at least an episode 3. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I was just saying good stuff. I would also recommend the podcast.
Yeah, it's a great podcast. Great podcast. So, guys, you know the thing: Patreon, like, subscribe, comment, all that noise. Love playing with you guys. Can't wait for episode 3. And all of you that watch
Coming
till
to
the
you in
end.
December. So.
Yeah, shut up. For all of you that watch to the end, I appreciate you watching. Take care, all. Bye. Howdy, friends. Thank you for watching. All our content is archived and organized in playlists on the Third Floor Wars YouTube channel. Check it out. And if you could like, follow, subscribe, and even set your notifications to this channel on YouTube and Twitch, we'd appreciate it, and it'll make sure that you catch all of our content. I talk with creators, designers, and experts across the gaming landscape in every episode of our podcast, Tabletop Talk. Open up your favorite podcatcher and search for Tabletop Talk from Third Floor Wars. Support your creators. They make the content you love, and it's your support that makes it happen. If you want to help us, go to Third Floor Wars on patreon.com, and you can help us for as little as $1 a month. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Take care.